Hello, family. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy E, the Dividend Passport Bro, back with another video. Guys, as always, I'd like to say thanks to all of the new subscribers. Thank you for liking and sharing the content. Guys, you know I'm just a 52-year-old man who makes video about my portfolio and my portfolio alone, guys. So I appreciate all the love, all the patience you have with me, and all the questions you ask. I appreciate that. Guys, make sure to join our Discord, okay? The Discord is growing, right? You can ask any questions you want to ask in Discord that I already can't answer out here, because out here it's not financial advice. But you can ask the question in the Discord, not just to me directly, but in the Discord, there are other people in there that have more money, that's making more money in the market than I'm making right now. So they'll be happy to help, and I'll be happy to answer the best I can to help you get to where you need to get to. Okay, guys? We are on our way, right, to 3,000 subs. We got 2,229 plus subscribers right now. So by tomorrow or by the end of the day, we might have 2,300, right? Soon we're going to be at 3,000 subs. But I appreciate the way we are growing, right? We are growing gradually. This is organic, okay? This is the organic growth that I like, that I appreciate. Guys, that's why in these videos, I don't put a lot of, what you call it? I don't put a lot of like commercials in the videos. I kind of keep it simple, because you know what? It is what it is. I do this for you guys. So we monetize. Yes, we make a few pennies every month, $50, $60 a month on these videos. But this is not the reason for the video, okay? Because what I do does not pay for my time, but I do it because I want to give back. And I do this every single day. No matter my portfolio is up or my portfolio is down, I do what I do, give back to the community, guys. So I hope you guys appreciate that. So guys, I was on the road there and I got interrupted. So I have to start all this stuff, again, because I'm traveling tomorrow, right? I'm going to pick up my baby tomorrow. Well, I'm not sure if I'll see her tomorrow, but I know for sure we'll be together on Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll be back in Cartagena for our flight on Saturday back to Atlanta. Okay, so guys, I appreciate the support. Thanks again for the love. Now, today's been a crazy day in the market, okay? When I log into my portfolio this morning, right, waiting for the market to open, right? And as soon as the market opened and I refreshed this stuff, it didn't refresh. I logged out and logged back in. Man, my portfolio was down $13,000. I was like, oh my gosh. How are we going to start today? As soon, I mean, I was down in the pre-market. How are we going to start today, right? And my portfolio is down 13 grand. That means I'm like, by the end of the day, I'm going to be down 40 grand. You know what I'm saying? I just like the worst case scenario. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about this. I got work to do. I start working, doing my work. I'm like, I can't do nothing else. I'm not just going to sit there and keep refreshing this stuff every 5 minutes. I left it alone. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to work. Got my work done for the rest of the week. I got some stuff done for the rest of the month in my job. And you know what? Had a meeting, had to do some stuff, getting ready for audits and all this other stuff. I'm like, you know what? I got done. I came back and checked my portfolio around one something. It's like down 4 grand. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's coming together. Okay. The end of the day, I checked it again right before. I think it was like a 3. And then the portfolio was down. Well, actually, it was in the positive, like $107, $176. I was like, okay, we finally taking the turn. And then before the end of the day, maybe, I'm going to go a couple of grand. Perfect, right? Nah. We ended the day, right? We're about down almost 2 grand. And you know what, though? 2 grand down compared to being down 13 grand and facing margin calls. I would take the 2 grand any day. That means we'll live to fight another day, right? We're getting closer to payday, right? So we're going to have some money coming into the portfolio. We're getting closer to payday. So I take that any day, okay? So, and I want to spend, about 12 grand the other day, right? I'm thinking, oh, yeah, we're going to be fine. And then I spend the money, the market go down. But luckily, luckily, we're still not facing any margin calls, right, guys? So you can see Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon are down. Google and Meta, it's kind of like doing okay, even out zero. They didn't lose money, they didn't gain nothing. A couple of other companies are kind of even the set out. That's good, right? Because the crypto market that stuff we buy, especially our high yield stuff, how some form of stuff to do with crypto or AI or stuff like that. So if the crypto market is down, it affects those companies because it affects our portfolio, right? So I mean that's why I show this every day. I know people are like, Edwin, but you don't have a lot of crypto. Why you always? This is why I show this every day because this is when I get to look at it. I don't look at this all day. I don't look at this stuff, right? Um, at some point, I want to start doing some day trading with crypto, right? I want to start that a little bit, and see if I can make some money. But it will give me something to do, right? It will give me something to do, and then practice my option a little bit more. But right now, I mean, this is not a time I want to practice option and lose more money, right? So I think I can have a small account where I can buy 3 or 4 times a week in there. That's okay, right? And then and wait for the next week or the next that day trading route or whatever. But at some point, getting to 20 grand, I don't think it'll be a problem just putting 20 grand into account where I can day trade crypto, right? But with those accounts that use crypto, I don't know trading crypto. I don't know if those that day trading rule applies to them, but it's something I need to look into. All right, guys. So as you can see, crypto market, I mean, it is what it is. It's hanging in there, right? But it's not doing well enough for me to be happy because, like I say, I'm I'm expecting crypto to do good enough for or stay consistent in the price range, right? So by the time we get to where we get Misty gonna get paid, we can get a couple of dollars in dividend because that would definitely help the portfolio big time because we're trying to grow the portfolio to where we get to that next level, right? So I mean, it's all important for the portfolio, right, guys? So and in this other portfolio, you see, like right here, right? I got Google, Nvidia. So when it tracks, right, it tracks these two positions in this portfolio that's down. Now, I was gonna sell because this is other people money. I didn't buy. I didn't pay for this. I was given this for free. So I did transfer. I tried to transfer some money into the portfolio today, but since my account now is technically kind of new, it's gonna take I think 4 to 5 days for the money to get into the portfolio. I did the first time I did 100, and then the second time around because the money didn't show. I was like, oh, am I doing something wrong? And I did it again, and I was like, okay, I did a $20 the second time around. So I did $120 transfer into this portfolio, and hopefully in the next couple of days, if not Monday, um, next week the money will be in there, right? So we can start buying some stuff. Now I know when I used to do the instant transfer, I would transfer the funds, it would show up instantly, but then it would deduct from my account a couple of days later, right? I guess I need to build that back up with these guys, right? Because I kind of starting fresh since I transferred my portfolio, so I'm just a regular Joe with these guys now. But it's okay, right? Because once we get things flowing back to normal, I want to hurry up and get this portfolio to where it's generating at least $1,000 a month, right? Um, and it have a lot to do with what we do in the Fidelity portfolio because now, once we get paid this week, depending on what's happening, maybe by I'll say Wednesday, I'm gonna buy some more Misty for next week. Either Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm gonna buy some Misty for next week. That way, no matter what happened, we're gonna have a few $1,000s coming in next week. That will cover us, right? And then once we get paid, depending on what Misty pays, um, that will help give us that buffer, right? We can go back to that buffer where I can be like, you know what, I'm not going to spend no money, and kind of go until the end of the month, right? 'Cause I'm still trying to get my 300 share back that was sold from Robinhood. I'm trying to get that back, and now that the cost is so low, um, you know, I'm ready thinking about, you know what, let's do it, right? Let's do it. Let's get the ball rolling, so we can have some consistency. As far as bringing down the, that 30 something dollars to 20 something dollar cost average. Like I said, if I can buy at 40, $50, I'm damn sure gonna buy it at $20, right? Because it's still higher. It's still gonna come back, right? At some point, it's gonna get back higher. So it's just being patient and doing what we do best, right? We are I am an income investor. So I invest for income, right? So we're going to lose some portion of our portfolio because of the price degradation, right? I'm saying degradation, because the price dropped. But then we're going to invest in other things that will keep us have income coming in. That's why I tell you guys all the time to have other positions in your portfolio that will pay you dividend, even though it's not paying you that high dividend or extremely high yield dividend, it's still going to pay you dividend enough to grow your portfolio or to keep income coming into your pocket. Now, at some point, right, in the next year or two or five, right? I mean, I'm 52 now, right? So in the next 3 years, right, that's my goal to retire, right? So now when I say retire, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop working. I know that kind of make no sense, right? But I'm not going to stop working on my business, on myself, right? Because I'm building something for myself. Now, like I say all the time, the job I have now, if I was to lose that job today, I'm not going to look for another job. I'm just gonna retire then. Um, but once I have that job, I love what I do. My boss going to be happy with me, so we're gonna keep it going, right? We're gonna keep doing what we do. Um, you know, and live our life the best way we can as we try to grow our, plant more seeds, plant more trees, right? So we can get more income. Now, let's say if I was to lose my job this year, of course that's going to speed up the process for me to retire because now I need to sell. I don't need to have, a big ass house in the United States. I don't need to have 4 cars in the U.S. I don't need to have multiple properties in the U.S. Right? Um, I can sell those and put that money into the market that's going to generate me more money than I will make having a rental property. Okay, guys. So, all right, family. So this is where we are right now. Um, I don't even know what to tell you right now. You just gotta wait and see. We gotta add some more money into this account, right? And get the rate up, the income up, right? And patient with Fidelity, and don't let the market drive you crazy because take my situation for example. You cannot control what happened in the market. Okay, you cannot, right? You can only put yourself in the position to have the right positions in your portfolio that will get you to where you need to be, right? I'm an income investor, so of course I have a mixture of lower, mid, and high yield and extreme yield in my portfolio to generate me income that I can be able to live off of, right? So as things stand right now, I'm generating about 20 some $1,000s a month, right? Next month, hopefully we'll be back in the 30s, right? But this month, I mean, if you look at the actual numbers, we generate about 30 grand plus. But, like I said, I don't like to go back and recalculate stuff. So we're going to stick with the 27, 26K or whatever it was, right? Um, but as we go into the new month, right? You know, the first pay is coming on Friday. This is going to go towards the new month, right? The first paycheck in the month, right? In the first week. So hopefully it's decent, $3,000, $4,000. That's considered okay, right? And then the next one, if we get $2 a share, or $2+ a share from Misty, then that will put us over 20K right there, right? And then 10,000 between the other two is up. Who knows? Nobody knows. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But we can just keep hope alive. Okay, guys? Um, let's look here. So this thing said 2,000, but the day ended under 2K. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy with that. Um, because we can only try to stay alive, right? And literally, uh, the medicine field. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that right now. We want to trying to stay alive, right, until the next pay period, right? Like right now, we living for paycheck to paycheck. Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, I make a lot of money, but I live paycheck to paycheck because when I get paid, I pay what I need to pay and I reinvest my money. So I don't have extra cash just sitting around to give to people. I don't have that, okay? Because I'm trying to get somewhere, and the only way I can get there is by reinvesting my income to get me to where I need to be. Okay, guys? So that's why I live paycheck to paycheck. But if I was just taking my income and spending it and doing what I want to do, of course, yeah, I'll be balling out of control and living my best life. I mean, I'm still living my best life. So, I mean, life is still good. Um, you know, life is still good. So I cannot complain. Okay, life is good. I thank God for everything He gives me. I can't complain, right? But we still have to work it out day by day as we get to the next level, right? So right now, and if I will tell you if I was stressed, I'll be lying because I'm not stressed. Um, Now I'm like, ugh, we got to deal with this crap again. But I'm not stressed. I'm not having like little, oh man, it's gonna. No, I'm not having that. Like I said, the day I left that stuff, I'm gonna do my work. I went to work, right? Got work done. Came back, checked my portfolio. Okay, it's improving. I went back to work, and do what I had to do because it's the end of the month. I got to prep everything for the new month, scanning and all the other stuff. I have to do all that, right? I still got to go and update my report for last month. All the stuff I got to do that work related, right? I'll probably do that tomorrow on the plane. If not, I'll do it in the car ride from the 4 hours, 3+ hour car ride from Bogota to Villavicencio because I couldn't catch a flight. If I had to catch a flight, I had to go the day before and spend the night to catch another flight. This is what I used to do before when I first started coming to Colombia. I would stay the night in Bogota and then catch a flight the next day. And then when I realized I could take a car, I'm like, I just jump in the car. So if I get there at 9, 10 o'clock at night, they'll come pick me up and have me in my apartment by 12 midnight or 1 in the morning, and I'm good. I don't have to spend the night and then get up early in the morning at 6 to go catch a flight, and I'm tired. So um, it is what it is. Um, and, we just got to keep going. Okay, guys? So like I said, keep going. Like one of the guys said, he was worried about margin calls today, and his portfolio went down, went back up, was down 4K, it went up to 6K, and then the day at 6K. So it's the same for me. Mine was down 13, right? I ended the day at almost 2K. So for me, that's a win, right? I prefer to be down 2,000 than being down 13,000 because that gives me closer, if not margin call, right? And then I have to be like, okay, well, let's see how the week's gonna look, right? So to get paid to get out of this margin call. But if I'm not in the margin call, then I'm good, right? So tomorrow situation might change. It might get better or it might get worse. Who knows, right? We're just living it day by day, right? And the more income we generate, like right now, like I said, I'm trying to get to three. I'm trying to get at my 3,000 share of Misty. I got 100. I just got the 300, but I want to spend the money on some other stuff, buying some other positions, right? I just bought 300 shares and be done with it, because I bought it at 40 something, and now it's half price, so I mean it's a no brainer. So at some point before the end of all of this, either this month or next month or the month after next, I'm gonna get my shares of Misty, right? How many shares of Misty do I got right now? I'm running my mouth. I know the last time I checked was like close to 7,000. Let's see, what's Misty? And what's Misty? Misty. So I got 6,800 share of Misty, right? And because of the cost basis, right? My cost basis is $30, right? a share. And of course, Misty is like 20 something dollars right now, whatever it is. So um, I've been thinking about taking some money from other positions, right, and throwing it into Misty, right? Like DIPS. I got 20, was that 20, was that $19,000 sitting there, right? Um, then over here I got another $13,000 sitting there, right? So that's 30 something thousand, 31, $32,000 sitting there that I can spend. I can take that and throw it into Misty, right? I know we're about to get paid from Fiat and DIPS. The payment is coming, I believe. I need to check. But after that, I mean, I can sell out of those guys and put that money into Misty. Um, you know, I can sell out of those guys and throw that money into Misty, and I think that would be something crazy right there, right? If I have 30, what is that? Let me see. What's that say? Because I'm going to calculate this sucker right here. All right, so 21,019.47 plus, and then fiat is, I got 13K, 337.02. So that's 34,000. I've been off, right? Then let's say Misty, what is Misty price today? 22.30. So divide, where's my division? Divide that by 22 point, let's say 35. That extra penny to that. I did it more. I didn't even do more. I said 22. It should be 20. It'll give me like 1,500 shares at 22. But at 20, that would give me probably close to 2,000 shares, right? That would give me close to 2,000 shares. I don't know why I put 22. I was looking at the 22 right here, and then I put 22.30. See, I'm freaking bipolar. That's why I like to pay attention to my numbers, because if I don't do that, the boy be like screwing things up, and I can afford to be screwing things up, right? I got to do that over 0.2 plus 21 0.19er 0.47. Okay, so I guess I know it's like I'm wasting you guys' time, but this is what, if I was doing it by myself, this is what I'll be doing. So since I'm recording the video, I'm doing the calculation, right? And let me bring this over, like to show you everything. So that would be $34,000, right? So it's 2034. That divided by $20.34. That give me 1,687 shares, right? I mean, in the interim, it's not a lot, but let's say maybe I'm not gonna do it this week, right? But next week, let's say next week I do that next week, right? The price might drop down to 19 or whatever, and if I can pick up that many shares, right? Let's say, and I multiply this by let's say $2.50. That's about $4,000, right? That's $4,000 if we get paid $250, right? That I spend 30 something and get paid 4,000, right? And I still have to make back my 30 grand. So within the next 3 months, let's say the next 6 months, depending on the payments, I can make back that 30 grand. And then after that, everything else is it's just income, right? So I mean that's my thought process. Now I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but it's something to think about, right? It's something to think about because, like I said, I'm trying to grow my portfolio. I want to do it safely, and right now with the market being bad, right? Those positions are the one that the reverse, right? They make money when the market is going bad, right? When the market is good, okay. My American Express payment just pop up in my account, so I'm like, I did that already today, and it just pulled the money out. I'm like, what the hell? But the those are like they go against the regular trading. So they are there to kind of hedge when the market is bad. So we're not bad with everything else. But right now, I mean, like I said, I'm an income investor. So those guys gonna pay income at some point. We got to see what they're gonna pay, and then make the decision. Like, you know what? What did I just do that? Make the decision to say, okay, what am I gonna do now? Right? We're still balancing out the portfolio because at some point when the market starts to get good, those guys are gonna be down, even though they're still gonna pay dividend, but they're still gonna be red. And for now, we don't know how long the market is gonna be bad, right? So, but it is a good thing that we have options. Just in case something goes bad, we need 30,000. We got 30,000 that we can sell, right, and put back into the portfolio. That will keep us alive until until the fires uh, goes off, right? And that's what we at. Okay, so guys, as you can see, the income went up because I did buy some positions the other day last week, like a crazy person. After I say I'm not buying nothing else, I'm not buying this, I'm not buying that, and then of course I couldn't help myself because I like to see my portfolio grow, even if it grow by $1 or $50 or $10. I like to see it grow, right? Because the more income I have, the more estimated income I have in the portfolio, more cash I know I'm going to receive, right? So just having it, seeing it grow, makes me, it gives me that peace, right? Because I'm not pulling money out of my portfolio right now like that. I am pulling money out of the portfolio because I'm paying bills, I'm paying my debts down, right? Because one thing I want to do is I didn't want to do is when I travel to have 50, $60,000 worth of credit card debt. I don't want that, right? So within the next year, like even if I was to say I leave my job, sell my property, right? When that money I get that money, I'm not going to pay off my credit card debt. I'm going to put that money into the account, right? That will pay off my credit card debt, right? I will create a separate account, say credit card payment account, right? And I will use that account. So if I have if I got $50,000 worth of credit card debt, I will throw $50K in that account, right? And I will collect $3,000-$4,000 a month, and I will pay the credit card off. I will do my snowball method, pay off the lower to the higher debt. So every time I pay a debt off, or something low, $3,000 or $4,000 off that month, right? We pay the minimum on everything else, and we pay a debt. Guys, that's how I did it before. I got out of debt. So, I mean, I know the process works because I've done it multiple times and it works. Okay, so as we continue to build, we continue to pay down certain debt. We need debt, right? Because debt help us make us rich, right? So we need some debt, but not all debt are good debt, especially credit card debt. It's not a good debt. Now, it's one thing I can get 50 grand and take cash off of a credit card and invest that money, right? I can take 30, 40 grand and invest that money. Now I might have to pay that high interest, but if I take 40, 50 grand and invest, right, and get in $2,000-$3,000 a month, yeah, I can pay that 40, 50 grand out in a year's time, using somebody else's money, right? And I have a set payment to make, whatever, $100, $1,000 a month, and I'm making 3 grand. That's a no-brainer, right? Or $500, $600 a month, and I'm making 50 grand. That's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm making 3, 4 grand. That's a no-brainer. So certain things you have to weigh your options, right? Because it's not all going to be it's not going to be easy, and it's not all going to make sense. Okay, guys. So today is the last day of the month, right? Tomorrow's the first, April Fool's Day, and I'm traveling tomorrow, April 1st. I was trying to change my flight today, but when I went to the airline, they didn't give me the option to change my flight. I would have loved to be there today and do some running around, look at some apartments that's out there for sale, right? Because I still got to put money aside. I told the guy, I said, look, I need to buy this spot, but I need them to give me 4 to 5 months, right, to put money aside to purchase the apartment. So the apartment is less than 100 grand. The other apartment that I already love, right, is about 120,000. It have 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. It have a sitting area that can be made into another bedroom, and it have another room that can be made into an office. So if I was to buy this place, I would have my separate office space, right? It's not a big space, but enough to have my all my stuff in there, so I won't have to move stuff around. So if I'm traveling going there, I will still have my computers, because if I go somewhere else, I'll still have my computers, but I won't have to change systems because everything will be cloned, where all my computers will be cloned with each other. They'll have the same software, all of the same stuff on it. It make it easy to make videos. It make it easy, um, you know, to not have to worry about taking stuff apart, putting it back together, things of that nature, right? So, these are some of the things that I think about that, sometimes it's like, well, you know what, you got to do it, because if you don't do it, it's gonna get to you. Now, it's not everything is cheap in Colombia, right? I got my daughter is a suitcase in the U.S., right? A little small carry-on suitcase for my daughter. I think I paid $35 for that suitcase. Now, that same suitcase here, unless not the best quality, it could be the same quality. I don't know. I got a suitcase from here that works pretty good. I think I paid like $40 for it. 45 dollars for it. But in the U.S., I mean, I will pay $30, or it depends where store I go to and what they have on sale. Um, but that's the option you get, right? Because everything is not everything in Colombia is inexpensive, right? Some things cost the same. I just came back from DR. I was telling my friend from DR, like, I was in the airport, and I was like, the water in the refrigerator, I didn't even want to drink the water because it didn't taste good. It wasn't great tasting water, but I needed a bottle of water, and I go there, they didn't have a price on it, and I'm like, oh man, this thing gonna be at least $5 or $6. I get to the counter, the lady said $13 and some change. I was like, what? She said, yeah, it's $13 and some change, almost $15, $14 and something. I started laughing. I'm like, see, I'm just telling you how expensive things are. We just talked to her. I'm like, I'm just telling you how expensive things are in the Dominican Republic. For the little people who struggling, that making $500-$600 a month. I mean, you can spend $200-$300 a month or more just buying groceries, and you're not even getting nothing. So, I mean, things are expensive, but I mean, when you leave here and go certain places, if you don't have that mindset, because you'd be surprised, the locals, they don't even go to their own farmers market, because they think, oh, it's better to go to a supermarket than to go to a local market where somebody's cutting up a chicken fresh in front of you. Anyway, this is not a chicken video. My dry humor, guys. Okay, bear with me. So today is the last day of the month. So tomorrow this will be gone, right? We know we generated $30,000+ this month, but we're gonna stick with the numbers because I had to go back and recalculate. Now, I was telling you guys about Alti. My Alti payment finally showed up in my Fidelity account, which was another $500 something dollars, and I went and added to the last month calculation. So if you look at the last month calculation, I didn't add the 800, the bigger number. I didn't add that. If you look at the last week calculation, last month, if you look at the last week calculation, we almost at, right? We almost at, I didn't even add it to the bottom number, but don't look at the bottom number, guys, okay? Don't look at the one in the number in green. Don't look at that number. But when I added that $500+, this is where we are, 37, 70, 58. Okay, this is where we are. So it's not bad, right? It's not great, but it's not bad, right? I mean, it's still better than if you're making 100K a month, right? Plus after taxes, every 2 weeks, depending on what you're paying into healthcare, 401K, you might get close to that, right? I don't think you might be $2,500 every 2 weeks after you pay all those different things, right? So you might still not take home that 3,700. I mean, I'm not really taking it home, but because taxes have not come out of this number, but the way I schedule my whole stuff, right? I will still have to pay taxes, but because of my businesses and my real estate, some of those taxes will help with diffuse some of the stuff. So most of that money will still end up in my pocket. So it's something to look at, right? Guys, I'm not a what you call it. I'm not a financial advisor. So this is not financial advice. I like to keep saying that. Remember to do your research, right? I give you all the tools about how I do my research. I know I don't talk about it more now because we're dealing with survival right now. So I'm not talking about how to do research, which would be the good time to talk about how to do the research, so you guys don't have similar issues like me. But do your own research. If you have questions about doing your own research, reach out. I'll be happy to help because that's why I'm here for, to help. I created this channel to give back, right? Because I could be a quiet millionaire, a lot of other millionaires that I know, right? That keep to themselves. They don't want to help the H's, right? I don't, how we call them, right? Ninjas. Because people are ungrateful, right? I've been called scammer. Um, Dude make a video about me, tell me how dumb I was, but when I comment on his videos, he deleted my comment, right? Um, it's a bunch of different things that people say. Sometimes for me, I don't really care about none of those things. What I care about is my character, right? And that's why I try to be very transparent on this channel, because from day one, from when I started making videos every day to where I'm at now, right? If you go back and look through all my videos, I try to keep it consistent with my transparency, right? But still, people will still twist your words and turn things around and make it to suit them. You know what? If you're making videos for me to get likes and views, that's your problem. You should be saying, well, guys, this guy is doing something to help, but this is what I'm doing to help you better, right? But you said that making videos about what I'm doing wrong and how I'm losing money. Everybody losing money, right? But I got more money than you. That's what I can say. I got more money than you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Maybe not you, but I'm catching up to you, and soon I will have more money than you too. Guys, this is the goal, right? That's why I like to look at these app, right? Because they keep me motivated. They tell me with consistency, just like I sit here and make these videos every day, right? Like I told my one of my guy friends, one of my boys, right? I'm like, no, this is my therapy because I get to talk to you guys, tell you guys how I feel, what is going on in my mind, right? That I can't talk to anybody else. I put it out on this channel, right? What is my personal business or whatever? I give you guys a lot of that too, right? Because this is how I express myself. This is me. I'm not anybody else. I can never be Paul. I can never be James. I'm Edwin. Okay? I'm a simple guy. For people who know me, when I walk out here in Cartagena or whatever I'm at, other than them saying, "Oh, he might be an American," they don't know I got two coins to rub together, and that's how I like it, right? So as I continue to build this generational wealth, I know in 10 years I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire. I'll be a multi-millionaire by the grace of God before the year end. I'm knocking on the wood because we're gonna freaking do it. But right now, this is the toughest time of the 5 years I've been investing. Can you believe that? This is the toughest time. And the one reason I say it's the toughest time for me because I got margins, right? So fighting margins to survive is tough for me. It's tough for a lot of other people. But if I just listen to myself and stop freaking buying, right, that would be good. But I gotta, like I said, I need more income, so I'm working towards that. So, but when I look at this number here, okay, we got a little growth, right? That's cool. We over 7.5 million in 10 years. That's cool. But when I go to my 5 year, which I was going to retire in 3 years, we over 2 million now. We over 2 million a year in 5 years. But I know getting to the first million is the hardest for me because people are like, but people are like, well, getting to the 100,000 is the hardest. I didn't experience that because I came from zero, right? And in 3 years, I had over $300,000 invested into the market. I had close to 100,000 in my Roth, right? And I had 200 plus thousand invested into my growth account and my dividend investing account within 3 years. And I was like, why do people say it's hard to generate 100,000? To get to your first 100,000. Why do people say it's so hard? Because I didn't see that. Now within 5 years, I'm over 600, right? And with margins, it's just pushing me. It's just pushing me. But now I'm like, you know what? With the current state of the market, I need to get away from that for a while, build my buffer back up, and then as the market gets better again, yeah, maybe I can say, okay, you know what? I can reactivate my margins, or margins just let it sit there. When the market starts to pick up, I can poke a little bit in and out and try to get us to that 60K a month, right? Because once we get to 60K a month, the next step is 100, right? But if we get to 80K plus a month, now we're making over 100,000 a month, right? We're making over 100,000 a month, and this is where we need to be because over $100,000 a month, I'm making $1.2 million a year. And after taxes, I'm still making 70, 700, $800,000 after taxes every year. Guys, that is ridiculous. You know what we're gonna get at with this kind of stuff? We're gonna get to somewhere where I don't even know how to put it into words. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to put it into words. But guys, look at the time. I'm sorry. We gone way past the hour. You know what I'm saying? I get excited and I start running my mouth. This is how I do. This is how I do. I've been interrupted a couple of times in this video. Okay, I had the nurse come over here to check on me. My daughter mom been calling, trying to get her to buy a suitcase for a little small suitcase for my baby. A lot of other stuff, right? And I think about it, like maybe I should just gotten the large suitcase and just put all her crap in the large suitcase. It would have been cheaper because I already paid for the suitcase, right? But I was going to have two carry-on suitcase. That would kind of give her something to do, and I can keep an eye on her because that little girl, she's a monster. But anyway, neither here nor there. Guys, thanks. I love you guys. We're going to do this again tomorrow. I'm going to be in Villavicencio tomorrow in my hotel. Hopefully I get there, right after the market close. That would be great, right? If not, you guys will get the video anyway. The day you might get it later in the evening because I might have to do some running around depending on what time I get there. My friend can pick me up to go look at these apartments. If not, it'll be Wednesday. Then I look at the apartments. I think I told him I only got one day ready to look at a few apartments to see what I'm gonna do. And these people, they can say, "Oh, we're available," and then when you go, nobody show up for hours. So anyway, guys, I love you guys. Thanks for being so patient with me. Okay, hanging around to this video. Remember, guys, join the Discord. I didn't open it up, but join the Discord if you haven't joined it. The link is in the description, and you need to make sure you're tracking your income because you need to know how much money you're gonna make, what you need to retire, okay, what you need to do, right? And like I say, if you need 1,000, make sure your portfolio is generating 3,000 before you say, "Oh, I'm quitting." Right? That's just the small. If you need 5K, make sure your portfolio is generating 15K before you say you're gonna quit. Because if the income drop, you're still gonna get that 5K. You might, instead of getting 15K, you might get 9 or 8K, but you're still gonna have enough to take that 5 and reinvest the other 3. Okay, guys, I love you guys. We're gonna do this again tomorrow. Stay blessed. Peace out.